Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm Jessica Abernathy, and with me today is Tricia Montgomery, and you are listening to Pets Are Family. Good morning, Tricia.
Hello, Jessica. I think my dog just blew me off right there because I've been dressing him up in different costumes.
Well, Halloween is around the corner, and you are taking it to a different level than I am. But hey, I got one, and that's it. But you got multiple costumes, and you made one too. That's even
I
better.
know it's gonna be like the Oscars. It's gonna be Halloween for Frank and the Oscars. Absolutely hilarious. So we're very excited about that. So I know it's gonna be changing costumes all day long. It is. I love Halloween. I
Right.
adore Halloween. I do. I love it. And I have to say, so Gabrielle, my daughter, was very young. It was her first Halloween. I decided to make her first costume, and that was she was dressed as a ladybug, and I took one of those big roasting pans, that they do for Halloween or for Thanksgiving. I spray painted it red. And then I did the bubbles, for the roasting thing. I did those, I spray painted those black. And then I did the straps of ribbon around her back. And so then I dressed her in a black turtleneck, black pants, and then I did pipe cleaners and like little things. And so it was like this. But we want to, I made it myself. It cost like all of $5. So I'm all about making things. And people who don't know anything about me, I am a little crafty.
You are.
So
You are. I got that hobo look down for Halloween really well, and I still have that hobo look down well still to this day.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, Halloween's coming up. I'm just excited about that. And Jessica, I just had to say something. So notice this jewelry that I'm wearing right now.
I see
I
that. I
am
mean,
getting,
I was gonna say it's darker than normal, and I like it. It's
yeah,
kind of pretty. I dig it. It's very
yeah.
much my vibe, but more yours. But I like it.
Thank you. So I'm giving a shout out to Valerie. Valerie, you sent me an email and you said, I love your jewelry. Can you tell me where you got it? So I get my everything that I get, most everything that I get is from Casha Designs, Katia, Casha Designs, and I think she's out of Florida and she's online. And so all the funky stuff that I wear is from Casha Designs. So Valerie, thank you for your question about my jewelry. I appreciate you. I'm wearing Casha Designs, so there you go.
There you go, Casha
I
Designs.
always
Look at that. You're getting a shout
Yeah,
out.
always
That's
getting a shout out for Casha Designs. So Jessica, we're about a week out on the lovely hurricane that we had. So talking about that today, I'm in Florida, as you guys know. We got double whammy here with hurricanes. We were hit with Hurricane Helene, and then we got hit with Hurricane Milton, and it was scary. It was really scary. I'm going to give a shout out. Probably this may be a little controversial here, to Governor Ron DeSantis for the pre-preparation that he started us with and really put that in, plugged it into our heads that we needed to take preparations for it because. It was necessary, especially on the heels of Helene. I had been at the NAMBI conference, the Not One More Veterinarian conference, and that was just, we'll talk about that too, but that was just incredible conference. And
well,
I
I mean, I'm in Chicago, not to step on your toes, which I do often anyway, but I didn't mean to. But
you do, and you and I saw each other when I was in Chicago, and we took some pictures.
right. But I mean, I'm in Chicago, and all they talked about was your hurricane. I mean,
Yeah.
could have cared less that we have a cold front coming through and it's freezing here, but it was more about how Florida was going to be gone. You know what I mean? Seriously, that's
Yeah,
they were just, I mean,
yeah.
for days on end, it was just, Milton, 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 Milton. Like, I guarantee you there are going to be a lot of dogs named Milton after
Um,
this week, you know?
I don't know about that, but I mean, I don't know. Cold front, hurricane. Cold front, hurricane. I think I would take a cold front any day. But
Yes, I would
I have
too.
to say, I actually came home early because I had planned on staying a little bit longer, and I ended up coming home early because Frank was with my neighbors Dee Dee and Jeff, and they have George the boxer and Emily. And I thought, I better get on home there. And he had such a great time with them. Thank you, Dee Dee and Jeff. Love you guys. You're absolutely fantastic. But it was scary preparing for that and getting the shutters on the windows and the clamshells. And for those of you who don't know what clamshells are, those are basically shutters that are secured to your home when to protect the windows. If you don't have hurricane-proof windows, I do not have hurricane-proof windows on my house. So those protect the windows. And then just preparing for it. And I contemplated leaving here on Monday, and we were out of gas. Literally, I think I called you, I was at my 7th gas station, and I waited in line for gas. And I think I waited like 47 minutes to be exact. And by the time I got to the pump, I took what little gas there was, and then they had stopped people, because when hurricanes are coming, they're filling up every compartment known to man for gas, for generators, for whatever.
Right.
And then looking at the traffic, I wouldn't have made it. It just wasn't was not worth it to leave. It was better just to stay put where we were, and we did okay. It was scary, but I want to talk about the preparations that are so important, and I'm glad I did. From a standpoint of getting Frank adjusted to a crate, having him happy in a crate, and not comfortable in a crate, that if we had to leave, that he was going to be good in there while we were traveling, or if we had to go to an evacuation center, that he would be comfortable in a crate. And there he left, gone, he's not in there anymore. So but it would have been don't know where he went.
You're like, I'm going to prove a point, and Frank derailed.
Thanks a lot, Frank. I appreciate you, Frank. Frank and I have some lovely conversations. He's been quite the jerk lately, and he knows he is. My poor neighbors hear me like talking to him. I think I'm crazy. And I think the other day I used the line from Devil Wears Prada. I said, by all means, move at a glacial pace. Let's do that.
I was watching something. I'm watching a new show on Paramount, and it's called Fight Night, I think it's called. It's got Kevin Hart in it. It's actually pretty good. I wasn't sure I was going to like Kevin it. Hart. Yeah, but there's this one scene, and it's about Muhammad Ali, a bank robbery with Muhammad Ali. It's actually pretty decent, right? Okay. It's not a bank robbery. I'm sorry, a mob. They rob the mob. You know what I mean? But it's around Muhammad Ali's fights and stuff like that. And this one robber just looks at him and goes, this one robber goes to one of the hostage guys, and it's the best line I've heard, and I will be using it for the rest of my life. He's like, "Are you trying to see Jesus?" And I was like, I looked at Brutus, and I'm like, "Oh, that might be your new tagline, buddy."
I love that. Oh my God. But it was
not you're gonna go see Jesus. Are you trying to see Jesus? I was just dying.
I think that all the time about Frank. Back to the hurricane. It was.
I was gonna say, let's get back to the serious stuff.
So we were without power. We were without internet, and it was to be cut off from humanity like that. I think that was kind of the worst thing about it. I'm fascinated by weather. I'm the problem, it's me. Thank you, Taylor Swift. I am the problem, it's me.
Don't sing it. That's it. Just don't sing it.
I'm not. Taylor, will you come on our podcast and talk about cats and sing any song you want to? I'm inviting you, Taylor Swift, to be on our podcast to talk about cats.
Yep. So that way YouTube will let us upload it.
I love that. I love that. I love that. And we'll all put cats around our necks, and it will be just lovely. I'll try to put Frank around.
Love Bin Laden. She'd absolutely love Bin Laden. You know,
we're just all over the map here, and
I know
Go
we are, but I
ahead.
have a question for you. Well, because you're talking about the hurricane, and we've talked about emergency preparedness, and as a
Right.
owner of a couple pet sitting businesses, that's one of the things that I mean, and all weathers, what I mean. It depends on your season or whatever it is, what I mean. You've got to be prepared to do either move, transport, backup,
Right.
whatever it is. So, what
Yeah.
did you have prepared for Frank, like if you left or if you stayed, knowing that there was a good chance that you were going to have no water, you were going to have no power, and you might not be able
Mhm.
to leave your home or the area that you're in because of road blockages,
Yeah.
down, debris, water. I mean, they were talking that you guys could have possibly gotten surges up to 15 feet, and you're on the
Yep.
water. So,
I
I mean?
am.
You could have been
Yep.
flooded out. So, what did you do to prepare? And sorry if I'm putting you on the spot, but that's what we do.
No, no, no. I love it. I love that. Thanks for asking. So I actually had all his veterinary records prepared. I'd also gone to shout out to East West Veterinary Clinic here in Cape Coral, Florida. I had gone to them and I had gotten something if he had gotten anxious. So I got him a little anti-anxiety medicine just in case. I also had all of his things prepared from a standpoint of just a favorite wubba, which he dissected, by the way. He dissected his lamb chop in the middle of the storm, and he was just dissected because he was so nervous he was chewing on that. I had extra
That's fine.
yaks and different bones for him, too. I had his food in little containers, so it could be individually poured out, and I had the dry food ready for him. I also had his crate, his favorite blankies in there too, and that was pretty much his veterinary records. Everything was with me, near to me, and I had also what we had done was we took like gallons of water and we froze those in advance. And that way we could pull them out and have fresh drinking water. And then I actually filled up my bathtub with water too, just in case something like that would have happened, to go ahead and make sure that there was plenty of water for us. And keeping them close by, that was the main thing. I was starting to say I have a fascination with weather. My dad was a meteorologist for the Army. He and my mom used to send up weather balloons in Yakutat, Alaska, and they lived in Fairbanks and Juneau and every place like that. And so my dad used to talk to us about the weather, and so I've never been afraid of the weather. I've always looked at it with a curious eye, but also realized that Mother Nature can be your worst enemy at sometimes, and you need to, understand those things that are going on and be prepared for them. But I went outside at sometimes, and I actually created kind of like a rope system that if the wind was too bad, that I was able to hold on because I had to get him outside to go to the bathroom. And at one point, I had him on his leash, and then he's like, "Oh no, I'm not going out here." And he just ran like right inside and straight into his crate. He did not want to be in there at all. But I also realize this.
That,
They're
but
feel.
that brings up
Go
a
ahead.
really good point, though. That right there.
Hmm.
Because as pet parents, what I mean, as you're talking about, this is a great point that you just brought up. They're as equally afraid as we are, and I understand that their restroom is outside, but outside is where the threat is. You know what I mean? You've
Yep.
got to
Yep.
give them grace to go inside.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's not their
Exactly.
fault. You know what I mean?
No,
Designate a spot, put pads down, do what you got to
I
do.
did.
But yeah, I know you did, but I'm saying this for our pet parents that are going through this. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
can't scold them for not going to the bathroom in the house. I mean,
Can't.
their restroom is where the threat is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and you've gotta. I mean, okay, let me just put it this way: you trade places with him. You go outside and try to take a dump. Let's go that route. You know what I mean? Meanwhile,
Well, he was.
while
You
you're
know what? I remember.
your pants around your ankles and everything is blowing between.
I
Good luck.
know. I know. Woo! Not having that one. So I remember when it was probably when he was what 4 months old. We had a really really bad storm here, and I
Yeah.
have a little raincoat for him. And we were outside, and my neighbors were literally watching me and laughing because he is a puppy. But I also have to say, your fear up and down the leash. If I'm not
Yep.
afraid, then my dog is not going to be afraid. He may be a little, the wind, especially with their ears, they can hear so much more clearly than we, or like strongly than we can. But
It's
I
like
think
that.
my calm, yeah, I think my calmness, I think that gave it to him. I think that it transcended to up and down the leash, and he was fine. He got afraid. He just lived on my lap for I think I sent you a picture. One night he would not leave my lap the entire time. The good thing is he sleeps with me too, so I can really comfort him during those times of need and distress. So, but we did okay. Lost a massive tree, lost some fencing along the side. I think a piece of the roof, but and I'll send you these videos. We took a drive into Matlacha and into Pine Island and in Pogila yesterday, and gone. The devastation is crazy. I think I always tell you we like to go and watch sunsets in Pogila, and there's a beautiful, just a beautiful area there. And it's gone, and the pier is gone. All of the 4 piers are gone, and the devastation is just enormous. Matlacha gone. That's Ian, Helene, and then now Milton, and these people are just. It's just like they keep getting hit and getting hit and getting hit. I also have to say another shout out to our Florida people here and Governor Ron DeSantis, that there was a man who tied up his dog on I-75. Jessica, I sent you that story, and
Yep.
left the dog tied to the side of a little bit off the beaten track, but on the highway of I-75. And a state trooper or a deputy trooper was driving by, I guess, and saw the animal. Lord knows how long he'd been out there, and he was able to rescue him. The animal, the dog, was in beautiful. I think it was a bull terrier, was in severe distress.
Yeah, he's
So
a
it was
Spuds
probably
MacKenzie for those that,
so
yeah, I
yeah.
was gonna say for those that don't know breeds, we'll just tell you he looks like Spuds MacKenzie. Most
Let's
everybody
McKenzie,
knows
he
what that
does.
is.
Oh
Yep,
my
and they
God,
named him
so
Trooper.
cute.
Because,
I
yeah,
know,
and
and just but
his new name is Trooper.
he was up to his the top of his really the top of his body in water,
Yeah.
and his chest in water, and who knows how long he had been there. And so the trooper was able to rescue him. And shout out, the man got charged with animal cruelty. And from what I understand, I have a friend who is a lawyer, and this case was making the rounds on Friday, and the judge evidently said, "I wish I could do more. I wish I could punish you more, but our laws will not allow it." So he got sentenced to 5 years for animal cruelty, and
Well,
the judge
but
said,
that also no, that's
"Go
okay.
ahead."
It just brings up another point though that you and I were talking about, and this is great for pet parents. Is A, you need to know what your laws are. B, you need to know what the rules and laws are for an evacuation in your emergency. So your national disaster, every national disaster has rules and laws that you can take your pets with you, and they override the rules and the laws that are out there because they
Absolutely.
want you to leave and they want you to take your pets with you. They don't want you to leave them
Right.
behind. They don't
Well,
want you. The last thing that you should be doing, and this is something we talked about, and the whole reason we were having this second conversation is that tying your pet to your kitchen counter or island so that he doesn't or she doesn't follow you is cruelty. You know what I mean? Because they cannot fend for themselves because you now chained them to something and they will
right.
die.
They
And
will,
you
and they
will get in
will,
trouble
and
for that.
you will, and I recognize that, Jessica, but I also recognize that I'm not gonna. There's just not poopy pet parents out there that you're not good people, and for you to do that, shame on you. And poopy pet
Well,
parents
it
is
is.
shame.
Yeah, I know. I like how you're trying not to
and,
spoil for me.
well,
That's
and
for Apple.
but
Apple goes
here,
for you.
thank you. But here, we had so many shelters and pet and evacuation areas, high schools, and like places like that. They were pet friendly, so you could come in with your pet to stay there, and then they had Ubers that would accept pets for free. So there's no excuse to do that. There's just and there's just no excuse in my book. There's just not. And there are plenty of places to go, and
But
to just go, oh,
I
that's
think
selfishness.
But I think that's us trying to educate the public, though, because I don't want to say that there's a bunch of poo-pooey pet parents. Let's go that route. We'll call it poo-poo.
No.
So, but I mean, there are, but I think it's also
Right.
education, because if you think about it, back in the day, they wouldn't take them. So people,
That's
that is
true.
one of the
Yep.
reasons why there's a lot of reasons why people won't evacuate, because they won't evacuate because of their pets. And that's why
Yeah.
they stay home, because they want to be with their pets. But it has
Right.
changed so much that we're such a pet friendly, but these rules aren't out there for the general public. I mean, we dig
Yeah.
deep because we're so into it. But like, I guarantee you, Leroy probably doesn't know any of them.
Right, right. Well, I know here there were tons of announcements going on over and over and over. I mean, beginning probably Sunday when I got home from Nambi, I mean, they were just like hitting it home. Do not leave your pets behind. In fact, they had the Lee County Sheriff, who is very well known for his advocacy for animals. And just here's what you do. Here's what you need to do. Our animal rescue organizations, Cape Coral Veterinary Clinic and Animal Shelter, Animal Welfare League of Charlotte County, Animal Rescue here in Fort Myers, Gulf Coast, Naples, they were all really preparing and saying, listen, we're reaching out. And so Animal Welfare League of Punta Gorda, they had a boil water order. I think it was in effect until last week for about 4 or 5 days. And so people were delivering water, but they actually had all their animals go into fosters, and the community rallied around them. With Cape Coral, I know that Liz and her husband, Liz McCauley, who we love, the executive director there, I think she stayed on site and, prepared those animals and was with them overnight. And same goes for many of these animal rescue organizations, that they're not taking animals in, but they're making sure that anything happens, that those animals are safe in their care. Helene really hit North Carolina, and those organizations in many places, and people, not just animals, but people, they were not prepared. And they're still, I think some of them are still without power in that Appalachian country. And so keeping them in our thoughts, and I think we put a link up there last time for Greater Good Charities and some other things, but we want to continue to put those links up there so
Yeah,
people can donate.
my sister, well, he's my nephew. My sister's nephew moved to Asheville the week before Helena hit. Yeah, and he just got power. He got power back 2 weeks after it hit. I don't think he's got internet yet either. He doesn't have internet or anything yet still. I mean, his roads are wiped out. Everything. I mean, CJ said it's devastating. Absolutely devastating. I mean, can you imagine moving to a brand new town for a job, excited to start a new chapter in your life, and literally a national disaster? But him and his cat made it. He does have a cat. Him and the little guy made it through it, okay? But you know what I mean? He's like, the town's devastated. It's gone. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
it's not what it was. It's awful. So yeah. My other question to you, Tricia, is because we're talking so much about like making sure we have all this. We, as educators, we like to tell you guys, well, we like to joke around with you guys. We love having fun with you, but we also like to help educate
No,
you
we
at the
don't.
same time.
We don't like to have fun at
Yeah.
all.
But I mean, I think if I can, I'm gonna find some links where we could put up there like where to look for your rules and laws in your states,
It's a great
dealing with
idea.
national disasters. Because like I live in Chicago. I mean, do I have hurricanes? Nope. I mean, I just don't live. I mean, I live close to a large body of water, but it's not going to produce a hurricane.
Right.
Thank you. But
It's
but
true.
I do have, yeah. But I mean, I can get 3 feet of snow that will wipe us out
Yeah.
just as bad. I mean, and
Yep.
rain, yes, flooding, yes. I can hurricane. I mean, not hurricanes, tornadoes. I had a tornado touch down earlier this spring, a mile and a half from my house. I mean, come on.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, I have everything but the water issues, which is fine. I mean, Lake Michigan, I'm grateful it can't give me a hurricane. That's all I can say. Because, I mean, that would be the trifecta for us over here,
That would
So,
and not a good trifecta at that. Yeah, that's crazy. That's
right.
crazy.
And,
So
and you need
yeah,
to be,
find those
oh,
links.
I was going to say,
You got to be prepared.
yeah, and
You
as
got to be
pet
prepared.
parents, you need to be armed because you need to know what your rules are because no offense, everybody's going to try to take advantage of you as a pet parent. And if you're armed, you are good. You know what I mean? And you have to be
Yeah.
ready and just say, nope. You know what I mean? Because you've got to fight for that four-legged child of yours, just like it is a two-legged child of yours. And just remember, your four-legged
Yeah.
child's got better teeth than your two-legged child. You know?
Yeah. It really is. It's education and it's letting people know. And I think it's, I think it's also generational too. That, like you
Yeah.
said, like your dad, Leroy, would not, people just don't know. And I think the more we know, the more we learn, the more that we're able to do things, in the proper manner and or what we think is the proper manner, and be safe and be secure. And that's the main takeaway from this is that, I think because of the preparations, I think we were, at least for Milton, we were okay. And I think a lot of people around me were okay because listening and understanding other things that you need to do, you should do. I caught flack though. I mean, I caught so much, just, people were very unhappy that I was staying here. And they had opinions on that and let me know that. And so they were not happy that I was staying. But again, I kind of missed the cutoff there, but I was safe. And I think you just you have to trust and you have to be prepared and roll with it. And,
I
gonna
was
go
one
one
of
way or
those,
the
but I
other.
did not give you a hard time. I was gonna say I was one of those. I was not happy that you stayed,
You
but
did
that's
not,
because I did not give you a hard time. I just asked you a couple times, "Are you sure you really want to stay?" Because I do not need to lose my podcast partner. I mean, because I am not as funny by myself. You know what I mean? So I selfishly looked at
I
it the
get
wrong
it.
way.
I got, yeah. That was very selfish, like business wise, not personal. Like I don't give a flying. I
I
just
care
want the
about your
podcast to
safety.
run.
I care about your safety. We have a business together. I
However,
need you.
however,
Kind of like how you worry
just
about me with my health issues. Every time I
I
go into
do,
the
I
night,
do.
you're like, you have to wake up in the morning. You have to wake up because I'm not as funny without you.
Just so you know, Jessica and I share bank account information. We share like emergency contact information. So if one of us ever goes down, we always know. So yes, I
Mhm.
that is so true. That is so true. So again, so Jessica, we have got some really cool stuff happening
Yeah.
here coming up in the not too distant future, and I just want to
Yes, but
um,
just before we go there, I just want to say this
why
really
do you
quickly because we've
always
been on.
interrupt me?
I do, but I'm going to let her go on about all the great stuff because she's so excited. But I want to say this really quickly
I'm
to our
teasing
audience. I want to just say this really quickly that we will put all these links up. It's going to take me a little bit, but we will put up links on this. We will make sure that you guys get a copy of an emergency preparedness guide so that way you guys can do that. We'll make sure that we give you a link to like, you know, pet poison lines, all the emergency lines that you can get a hold of. So that way, if you need to make a call, we have great partners that are rolling out some, like Farm and Yard is one of our greatest, wonderfulest partners in the world. And I can't say that any worse than I
Yay,
just
Farm
did because
Yard.
like
Thank
that
you,
was like
Adam.
the best forced English ever. But yeah, thank you, Adam. I love you too. But what I mean, they're working with our pet parents to set up a great partnership so that way we can have televet. And which
Mhm.
is perfect in these kind of situations. And we want to make sure that we can get it
Absolutely.
in front of you guys because in these situations, if you or your pet does get hurt, what I mean, it's going to be hard, but we can get you in front of a vet. We can help get you in front
Yep.
of certain things. So we will put all that stuff in the notes. But the bigger thing is that we really want you to be prepared. And if you ever have questions, what I mean, I do a lot of this for a living. Tricia does a lot of this on the veterinarian side, what I mean, for a living, what I mean, ask. We have no problems sharing with you guys. So I just wanted to end that portion really quickly so now we can go on to the fun stuff. So sorry, Trish, but I wanted to say that so that the pet parents know they
No,
can always.
I love that. I love that. And speaking of Farming Yard, we've got something really special happening in the month of November.
Mhm.
Couple things actually. We've got a I Would Walk Forever for pet cancer, to end pet cancer. And that is our virtual walk. It is going to be a fee of $35, and you can go online. We'll have the link up for you under moosesmarch.com, and you can walk from anywhere virtually. You could even put 5 miles in your own home. It's walk, stroll, whatever you want to do, 5 miles in the month of November, and all proceeds benefit Moose's March. And we purchase pet cancer tests and we distribute them. Speaking of that, we are giving away in November 50 free, that's free, pet cancer tests. We're giving away 50 free pet cancer tests from our friends at Oncotech, giving away 50 free pet
Oh,
cancer tests from our friends at Oncotech. And this is a urinalysis. And what they do is they send you the kit, or we will be sending you the kit. You collect a urine sample, and they will look at that for biomarkers for pet cancer. Again, we're going to be giving away 50 free Oncotech pet cancer tests. And so a massive, massive shout out to Oncotech for this. And we're so pleased about that. We're also, our beautiful friends at Farm and Yard are giving away for the first 100 people who give $50 or more to Moose's March, they get a free subscription for televet services for 1 year, and that's provided and it's powered by AirVet. And so it's via Farm and Yard, and again powered by our friends at AirVet as well. But they're giving away for 100 televet subscriptions for the first people who donate $50 or more. Along with that, they're also doing matching donations on their website. They're going to be doing a roundup for us on the Farm and Yard site. So if you purchase anything from Farm and Yard and you round up for Moose's March, they're going to be doing those matching donations as well. So we've just got so many beautiful things going on. Again, the Moose's March virtual walk, we're giving away those 50 free Oncotech pet cancer test, as well as Farm and Yard is going to be donating televet services for 1 year for the first 100 people who provide $50 or more to Moose's March. And again, I can't stress enough, this is a passion project of mine, and Jessica I've looped her into this because she is my partner in all things.
Well,
And
and I was gonna say,
yeah,
and
it's
think,
pet
I was
cancer.
gonna say, think about it's pet cancer, and think about it this way. I mean, I hadn't experienced it when you and I met, and I hadn't experienced
Mhm.
when you started this, and I full-heartedly jumped on board with you. And in April, I hate to say this, and I will try to do it without crying because I swore I would never do it, but Teddy wound up having cancer. You know what I mean? He wound up having brain cancer. That's what ultimately put him down. I mean, he went within 14 days. So I mean, it went quickly, and we all know he is my heart dog. And I don't need to start a 5013 for him, just for the one fact you have it, and I just have to jump on board even harder than I already am and make this, because when cancer takes a pet, I hate to say it's I don't want to say it's worse, it's just as hard. You know what I mean? Because they can't tell you. I mean, Teddy lost his voice. He couldn't even bark, and all he could do is make these god awful screeching sounds, and it was horrifying. You know what I mean? So it's just, when that happens, oh, there goes Frank. When that happens, you just realize that you've got to fight harder for them, because they truly don't have a voice, and they do. Yeah, and so, yep, I will be doing my walk. I'm not allowed to exercise yet, but I will figure out how to get 5 miles in yet, you know what I mean? I'm talking to Dr. Valina. Hi, Dr. Valina, by the way, who is a huge Newfie lover. So Dr. Valina is the one that fixed me and made me look healthy again, but Dr. Valina, I'm going to get approval hopefully Friday, hopefully, so I can walk my 5 miles in November. So
fantastic.
That's what.
And guys, just about cancer here, I just want to point out something. 6 million dogs, 6 million cats are diagnosed with pet cancer every year. Every dog over the age of 7
million pets.
12. Yeah. And one in 3 dogs over the age of 7. Think about that. 1 in 3 dogs over the age of 7 will be diagnosed with pet cancer. So let's start them out. Let's do this right. And again, early detection saves lives. And also giving a shout out to our friends at Veterinary. They're the ones who do the blood test, and through the veterinary clinics, and we work with them as well. I'm really proud of this. We tried to blend the consumer and the veterinary community, and bringing them both together, and doing so we believe is going to create better and more awareness for pet cancer. Again, November Pet Cancer Month, moosesmarch.com. You want to make sure that you go there. We have so much coming up here, Jessica. We're so excited about things. Got a webinar coming up, and we've got things going through the roof here. Also giving a shout out to Miss Gina Dial. Gina, you are new to the Pets or Family team. We're really super excited to have you on board and start rocking some things for us. So shout out to you, Gina. We love you. Jessica, and I adore you. I love you. You are the best partnerist everest, and super excited about what's to come for us.
Hey, same. Hence, that's why I told you I wanted you to leave the state of Florida, because I needed you. But perfectly.
Okay,
but
guys.
we'll have the swag bag, because you get a swag bag when you sign up. I'm super excited about that. It's got a lot of great goodies in it. So join the cause, share with your friend, go to work, build a team, get a bunch of you guys to sign up. You know what I mean? It'll be fun to do together. Get your work wives, your work husbands, your work sisters, your work brothers, all of them together, see what kind of fun you can
get them on board.
Yep. Get as many people as you can on board. Yep. Everybody knows somebody that has a dog. Do a walk with your dogs every Saturday. It'll take, think about it, 1.25 miles every Saturday in November. You got your 5 miles in, you socialize, you could go have brunch, you can hit the farmers markets. Woo, we're done. You know what I mean? Call it good. We can make fun of it. So all right, on that note, we will see you guys next week, and we love you guys. Bye. Thanks for listening to Pets or Family. You can find us on all the channels now. Yes, all the channels now. So make sure you share us with your friends, your families, and your coworkers, and anybody that has a pet. Make sure you like us, give us your feedback, tell us if anything that you want us to talk about. all that fun stuff. You can reach me at jessica@petsourfamily.net or Tricia@petsourfamily.net. Thank you for everything that you guys do, but make sure you like us, subscribe, check us out on YouTube. You can always see what we're up to. And we want to thank all of our sponsors, all of the people that support us. We love every one of you, and we can't thank you enough. And remember, check out Moose's March, moosesmarch.com, moosesmarch.com. Come check us out. Talk to you guys soon. We'll see you next week. Bye.